Hey everyone, how you like what I'm looking at here? Snow. Great. Warmed up here today. About 16 degrees. Alright, we probably got, I don't know, maybe, I'd say something like inch and a half of snow last. I don't think it was quite 2 inches, but we've been getting there really long. It's been real cold here. Today it's 16. That feels warm. It's been 6 degrees, 0, a little bit below. You can see we're melting off the old barn roof here. That building's not heated, just from the sun. So that's quite a good sign for us here. Alright, I'm going to scrape this stuff off here, the heat on out here, get this cleaned up, and we'll go inside. How about that, guys? $730 when it was new. Well, we got back on this one. Got a bunch of parts all bought, some laid out here, some stuff I've had. The fuse box, the wiring harness. It's a real nice kit. Everything is labeled. All the wires are labeled, not only by group, but each one is labeled individually as to what they are. Real nice setup here. Oh, wire loom, gas tank float, all kinds of odds and end parts. There's a pretty cool little item, the mirror with the thermometer on it. These are for the front bumper. They go where the bumper brackets come out. Fuel tank fill tube. Parts are just endless. There's my radiator, some exhaust parts, cowl vent, license plate bracket, fuel tank out of the car. I was lucky this car had the fuel tank in it, and it's a good tank. I'm going to seal the inside of it, clean it, seal it, put the new float and pickup in it. Here's a pair of fiberglass fender skirts for this car. Again, I don't know if we're going to use these or not. I like skirts on the car, but not everyone does. Since I'm going to sell this car just may get some mag wheels on it. Get them in the right place. There we go. These actually fit pretty nice. They're a reproduction of the factory skirt. I was real lucky on this one. All the interior trims, that's the one for the windshield. All these are all the ones for all the other windows on this car. A lot of these parts are not reproduced. If you don't have the originals, you'll really scrounge the part sources and swap meets to try to find them. Some factory glass was broke on it. Of course, the rubber seals are all bad. So I'll be putting on new rubber seals and new new glass in the car. The windows here and the doors, front doors are actually pretty good, but I'm going to replace everything. It's just flat glass. The dash is out of the car now. You see how far the firewalls sit back here for the V8. It's all worked out really well. Swing pedal all in place for the brakes, accelerator pedal. Tilt steering column. So it's a Chevy van column, so there's no key on the column. Which will work very nice. Windshield wipers all in place. We cleaned up some of the trim on the front here just to see where we were. The stainless parts, of course, are all good. The pot metal parts got to be replated. They're in good shape, but you can see here when I come in close, little pits. The cloisonne medallion is actually very nice on this one. That's a big plus. Those are very expensive. The Mayflower ship here, she needs to be plated. But the grill bars are good. These big brackets here, these were the factory mirror brackets. Mirror head here. I'm not going to use those. I don't like them. I'm going to take those off. Well, the holes that probably sell these. This is an old mirror. I'm going to buy some new clamp mirrors like this. They clamp onto the door edge. They have a nice, graceful arm to them. So we'll go with mirrors of that nature on the car. I say the interior in this car is done, and gosh, these seats are like big sofas. Wonderful seating in this car. I laughed. I had read in the publications on this car that this big roll on the back of the seat, that was a safety device for back seat riders in a collision. I said before, these are the colors right here. It'll be the off-white two-tone on the top with the Indian pearl bronze on the bottom. This color really lights up out in the sun. It looks more brown inside the shop here, but it's a real copper out in the sunlight. So I've been working on the dash of the car here. Put a clock here. Cut the hole in the glove box over the clock. I was going to run these factory gauges in here. They're with the car. They're in good shape. I've decided not to do that. Got all my aftermarket gauges out here. Water temperature, voltmeter, fuel gauge, oil pressure, my tachometer. What I'm going to do is the tachometer will mount in this opening. I'll put a back filler in here and mount the tachometer here. I'm going to order a speedometer head for it that'll mount here. This car was a radio delete car, but this is where the radio would have been. You can see where they had a plate over it. I'll weld up these holes. This was for an ashtray. And I'll drill then here. I'll mount those 4 gauges I have right here. It's going to be very convenient for the operator of the car. It had an ignition and gauge, or ignition I should say, a switch panel right here. I'm going to get my air conditioning unit and see how big the control is for that. That's probably going to go here along with ignition. I'll have a headlight switch to mount, maybe some other panel switches. We'll see what I do here. I have to see where I'm going to put my air conditioning vents. I'm sure there'll be one here, probably in the corners. This car it looked like another glove box door on the driver's side. And I'm going to mount my fuse panel box behind this. So all the driver has to do is open this door up down to the top of the steering column and have access to all the fuses right here without getting underneath the dash. I think that'll be very convenient. This dash will be two-tone, just like the outside of the car is. These glove box doors have this trim line on them right here. That'll be the two-tone line. It'll be the ivory color above and the bronze below. I'll just simply follow it right across. So that's where we're at, guys, with the dashboard, what's happening there. I've got to order some more pieces and parts for it. This is probably the part of the car that I dislike the most. Is this, I said it's like another glove box door on the driver's side. Well, someone apparently at some time or another decided to put, it looks like probably a row of toggle switches or something here, who knows. But you can see what they did to it. They say this. So I've got to cut this out, put a piece of metal in here, and finish this. It'd be nice if I had another door for it, but I haven't been able to locate one. I say, I don't know which your Plymouth one of these would work from. I haven't researched it that heavily. I think 37 and 38. But I've got to look into that some more. If I can find another one before I absolutely have to finish this door, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to redo this one, make it work. So that's kind of where we're at right now, guys, on the Plymouth. We're in that stage where we're making things work on the car. Progress doesn't seem like it's fast enough, but it's all part of the process. This wonderful green right here, this olivey green color, that was the original color of this car. Thank goodness we won't be going back to that. I said it's 350 Chevrolet powered. It has Nova suspension under it, Nova subframe in it, Nova rear axle, turbo 350 transmission. So it should go down the highway very nice. Be a very, very comfortable car. Sorry about that, guys. I ran out of memory. Had to take some things off the memory in the camera. Keep going here. Yeah, I laughed about some of the old books of this car. Pretty cool stuff. They talk about, of course, being a economical car, but they talk about safety features and everything the car had. Of course, they talk about accessibility to the ashtrays, something you really don't see advertised much on cars today with our society. I chuckled over this with the luxurious roominess, which I believe in this car you could sit across that back seat like that without any problem. Pretty funny how they show this car is steel constructed versus wood construction that a lot of cars had in their day. They talk about things we don't think of in cars. Right here, this gentleman tacking the interior on to the tack strip, the windlass edging. They talk about no more splinters from a wooden edging. It has fiber edging. Safety handles. They talk about the handles don't protrude out. So just interesting things. We take everything for granted on our cars today. You see I'm pointing out the defrosters here. Clear vision for all weather with defrosters. Something new on cars. Here's where I talked about the rear safety seat. The cushion over top of the back, how the material padding rolls over the top. So just a lot of things that we take for granted on cars today. They were actually incorporated in old cars for many years, but the thought was there. They worked with what they had. I find these old books to be very entertaining. Here's any vehicle I'm doing that's mine, whether it's a car I'm keeping or selling. I will pick up a few of these things. Insulation in the cars. You know what it is, guys? That's that dark, crumbly stuff that has dried out and rotted over the years. And when you take the car apart, it falls out, it gets all over you and down your shirt and everywhere. But just very interesting. Options. A heater. Vanity mirrors and exhaust tips. Pretty cool. A lot of different models. Of course, everyone offered a lot of different models at this time. And you know, guys, talk about wheel sizes on cars and what looks the best, you know, but you know, when old cars come out years ago, gosh, the wheels were big on them. I don't remember 30-inch wheels, you know, or wooden spoked wheels and so forth. This car, they thought it was great, and this is something we have today, and everyone's went back to it and they think it's a new idea. You know, 1938 Plymouth Deluxe, also available with 20s, baby. There you have it. Who would have ever thought? Alright, guys, that's the update here this Friday on the 38 Plymouth. I said it's kind of slow going right now. I've got to order a bunch more parts for it. I got to order the speedometer. I haven't bought the air conditioning and heat unit for it yet. I have to do that because I have to fit these things before I disassemble the car. I said to get this dash put together, probably yet today or tomorrow morning, I'm going to order the air conditioning unit for it. I'm going to order my speedometer head. And I'll go ahead and get all this stuff all put in. When I get everything fitted and installed as it has to be, I'll finish running all my wiring. You know, when it's done something like this, you know the process. I get all the wiring in, and then I'm going to go to the brake system on the car. I'm going to get all my brake lines run, brakes checked and everything pumped up and blood on those, so I've got a good brake system on it. Engine, transmission, and rear axle are already in place on this car. I do have to cut the drive shaft for it yet. So that'll be next. Get the drive shaft cut and put in the car. And I said before, I'm going to use the original fuel tank because it just fits so well. It's in good shape. I did it on my 61 Plymouth wagon. I don't think I made a video on that. I bought a kit to clean it on the inside. It comes with the acid to clean it with and everything. And get it cleaned out on the inside. You need to scale and rust out of it. And then it's a coating. It'll also make it better for new fuels that have a lot of alcohol in them. Contain a lot of moisture. Retain moisture. So I'll get this tank all done and put back in. I just saw one on eBay, an NOS. There's an NORS, new old replacement stock tank. And a guy wanted, I think it was $899 for it. So these old tanks are hard to come by in good shape. I was lucky with this one. I don't really want to put an aftermarket tank in. It doesn't fit. I have to alter the floor and so forth to make it fit because the floors are so good in this car. But anyway, I could yap on about it, but I'm going to go ahead and try to get some more things done here today. So there you have it, guys. There's the 38 Plymouth update. Anyone needs any original 38 Plymouth gauges, let me know. I am going to get rid of a lot of this stuff, I think, when the car is done. So that's where we're at. Everybody have a good weekend.